The police department, there's been law enforcement around forever, right? And it's taken different forms. I know we were talking earlier about the slave patrols, particularly the ones in North Carolina that had the oaths, right, that we were talking about. But I think one thing we need to understand is there was always some kind of policing, for lack of a better word, but groups of people who would patrol or stand guard. What became unique here, particularly in this country, is out of those slave patrols, right, you see a legacy of institutionalized racism, of embedded bias in behaviors, in practices, in psyches. So there were laws during enslavement, right, against enslaved people and free black people. It was illegal for 2 or more black people to stand in public without a white chaperone. Well, that we can still see that today, right? Any corner, you see 2 black men standing in a corner, somebody thinks something's going on. The police either stop, women will cross the street to go to the other side of the corner, but that is so ingrained in our society.
You know, and I don't even know where that came from, but I just knew if it's more than 3, you're going to draw attention to yourself.
There were laws
right.
on the books, and I would not go as far to say is that their laws are no longer on the books, because a lot of times the laws never come off the books. But you see the practice continues. Even if somebody doesn't say, the trainings, the teaching, the culture, right?
So, I mean, everything she said has validity. You know, as someone who did 15 years in the police department, recently retired, one thing that's been missing from the conversation is the justice-minded. You know, there are people employed by police departments and law enforcement who don't agree with the detriments, but the atmosphere in which they can say something, it doesn't exist. So I thought to myself, what shot could I take that would give the biggest ripple? And I said, if we could simply decrease unnecessary police encounters by way of arrest quotas, summonses, and stop and frisk, right, pressure, then mathematically, you know, we're gonna, just those less encounters is gonna lead to less incidents that become deadly, because we have to look at the insidious behavior. Yes, every now and then it aligns and we lose someone and everyone is enraged, as we should be, but the everyday behavior that leads to that, that's my fight. Because we could prevent a Sandra Bland, an Eric Garner, a Philando Castile, because every single one of those situations were rooted in police quotas.